everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a week in my life. In this video, we're going to be seeing how much I realistically read in a week while working a 9-to-5 job. 8:30 p.m. is the first time I'm reading today. Today's currently Monday, so I'm going to be filming this video from Monday to Sunday next week. I'm going to be seeing how much I can read throughout the week, just how many pages I read throughout the week. I'm actually about to head out to work right now. Just wanted to film the intro to this video. Happy Monday. It is now many hours after I initially filmed that intro clip. I am back home from work. It is like 14 hours later. I have not done any reading today. I usually read on my commute to work, but this morning it was just very crowded, and then on the way home my Kindle was messed up. All that to say, I have not done any reading today, so I'm at a whopping 0 pages. But I want to talk about the books that I'm currently reading. I am in the middle of 2 books right now, and I've been in a little bit of a reading slump in that I haven't been reading too much. Not necessarily because I don't want to read, but I just don't feel focused when I'm reading, and I also haven't had as much time to read, I feel like. But I'm in the middle of an audiobook. I am listening to Strangers by Belle. This is a memoir by a New York heiress and lawyer. She is a very famous person. I did not know about her until I heard about this memoir and this book coming out. But basically what happens in the story is that she takes you right into a point in her life where she finds out that her husband has been having an affair, and then her husband just decides to up and leave her and their family. They have 3 kids together. They're all teenagers, or like pre-teens to teenagers, but he just decides to leave. And she kind of has to deal with the fact that the man that she's known and been married to for like I think 20 years at this point is just someone that she doesn't really know. So it's very interesting. I've only listened to the first part. I am interested to keep going with this audiobook. I probably will listen to it throughout this video. And the second book that I've been in the middle of is Jade by Fonda. This has been on my TBR for quite some time now, and I'm finally picking it up. It was on my 25 books that I want to read in 2025. I'm about 50% of the way through now, and I'm really enjoying it. This is a high fantasy book based on Asian mythology or Chinese mythology perhaps, in which their currency and their magic system is based off of jade. It's a little bit hard to understand. It's told in various different perspectives, specifically focusing around the Call family, which consists of Lan, Hilo, and Shay. And basically they're all siblings, and they're kind of going through essentially clan wars right now, or the beginning of clan wars. So this was the first book in a trilogy. Jade can only be used as magic for certain types of people or certain groups of people. You have to be a green bone to be able to leverage jade. Otherwise, you can't use it, or you can get sick from using it. Even if you are a green bone and you can use jade, you have to train to use it. Otherwise, you can go mad. There's certain aspects of the magic system that are being kind of discovered as I'm reading along. I'm halfway through this book, and I am really enjoying it. It's just that I've been taking a very long time to read it. I think I've been reading it for almost 3 weeks now, maybe even more. So I'm hoping that I can finish this throughout this video. For Jade City, I'm currently on chapter 28, page 232. So that's what I'm starting today off as, even though it's 8:30 p.m. It's the first time I'm reading today. And then for Strangers, I don't think I'll listen to it today, but I am at 12%. So we'll see what I end up reading. But right now I'm going to shower, take off makeup, get ready for bed, and then hopefully just read for the rest of the day. Happy Tuesday. I'm just about to leave for work. It's like 6:30 in the morning right now, but I thought I'd give a quick update on what I ended up reading last night. So I only read Jade City last night. I started the day at page 232. Granted, my reading day technically started at like 8:30 p.m., but I started at page 232. I ended at page 254, which is a whopping 22 pages read. Not a good start to this challenge, or I mean, not a challenge, it's a realistic reading week. So not a good start technically, but fingers crossed that today will be a bit better. I do plan to read on my commute today, and I'm off to work. read this on my commute home from work, and I got to the like 55% mark of the story in which something crazy happens, and I didn't expect it to happen in this book. I expected something like it to happen eventually, but in a trilogy, I didn't expect it to happen in book one. So I think the rest of the series is going to be very interesting. I don't work in office tomorrow, so I imagine I might have a little bit more time to read. However, I do have a family event tomorrow, so we'll see how much reading I can get done tomorrow. I'm on page 289 in chapter 34 right now, and I'm hoping to get to, at minimum, page 300 by tonight, which I think probably feasible. But I checked my Goodreads, and I've actually been reading this for almost a month. So I started this at the end of May. It is now the end of June, and I haven't finished yet. So that's how much I've read so far. I will probably read for a majority of the rest of the day after I do my night routine things. I think I want to fix my nails. Maybe I'll listen to my audiobook and then fix my nails because they're like a little bit too long now. Identify a breathing area. Good morning. It is now Wednesday. I am just about to get ready for work, and I tried to wake up a bit earlier today so that I could do some reading before work, but I just used my alarm a little bit too much. But last night I did do a lot of reading, and then I also listened to a bit of Strangers for count for how much I read Tuesday, read/listened to. I started the day at page 255 for Jade City, and I read up until page 316, so that's 61 pages. And then for Strangers, I kind of calculated this because obviously I'm listening to an audiobook, so I don't have the page number exactly, but by percentage, I started at like 12%, I think, which I calculated to like page 29, and then it ended at 22 or 23%, which is about page 53. So that's 24 pages that I listened to for Strangers. So my total for Tuesday was 85 pages. That is my reading update for this morning. I am going to read a little bit, I think, before work, and then I probably won't read again until I go to bed. Happy Thursday. I just got home from work and I had a dinner with my friends right after work. It's like 9:30 p.m. So I feel like it's been a very long day. I've been out since 6:40ish. So I am a little tired. Anyways, I wanted to give a reading update of what I read yesterday for Wednesday. Spoiler, it was not a lot whatsoever. The only time I read was in the morning. I didn't end up reading anything before bed. So my tally for yesterday was 19 pages. So even less than Monday. And I thought Monday was going to be the lowest day. Somehow I read even less. That is not looking so good for me trying to finish this. Today I didn't really read Jade City that much on my commute to work. What I did was actually listen to a lot of Strangers. I ended up getting to 43% into Strangers. It's getting very interesting so far, and while I'm listening, I'm forgetting that it's a real life situation and that this had actually happened to someone in real life, and that I'm not reading a fictional story, because there are aspects of the book where I'm like getting kind of worried for the main character. Other aspects of the book that I found interesting was there was a portion where she was talking about her relationship with her now ex-husband and how their relationship kind of grew very quickly, and they moved in together, got married, all within the span of like I think 3 months of knowing each other. And it's crazy how that happens, and like she's talking about it in such a fond way, but also there's like an undertone of uncertainty, and there's aspects of the relationship that she's talking about that really worry me, and I'm kind of glad that they're not together anymore, but I'm worried because I think it's going to play into something else later on, because now they're getting divorced. I'm gonna pop the mic here so that I can have my hands free. I got a Ring-Con ring. I've been wanting an Aura ring for the longest time, but then because they charge you for the subscription, I didn't want to get the Aura ring, and I've seen a lot of people talk about how good it is to have like an Aura ring because it can track your sleep and track your cycle and all sorts of things, and I'm really interested in statistics in that way, like learning about your health through those types of stats. So I bought a Ring-Con ring. I was debating between the Ring-Con and the Ultra Human ring, and I ended up getting the Ring-Con because I saw a lot more positive reviews of it. So I'm going to unbox that right now. that's what it looks like. I got it in the gold color. I'm gonna set up the app after I shower and figure out how to actually use this. Happy Friday. I can't believe the challenge is almost over. 3 days technically left. Haven't finished a book. I feel like once I finish Jade City, possibly I can get out of the reading slump, but I think I've just been reading the same book for far too long that it's like getting to me. We're kind of like in the pre-ramp up before the big clan war kind of breaks out. I'm assuming that the clan war is not going to fully take place within the story, but yeah, I am enjoying learning more about the characters. It is really interesting to read about the different family dynamics going on within the story, and even though that there were conflicts and things, how people decide to problem solve beyond that. I am now on page 380 and I think there's like 494 pages, so I have 100 pages left. That's about, for a fantasy book, I want to say that's like 2 hours of reading, so we'll see if I have 2 hours of reading in me. To tally up what I read yesterday, so I read only 19 pages of Jade City. With Strangers, I started at 22% and ended at, I think it was 43%, was 51 pages. So I ended up reading a total of 70 pages yesterday on Thursday, hoping to finish Jade City today. That is my goal. Reading update, I did end up finishing Jade City. I didn't finish it last night. I read until I had like 20 pages left and I could not keep my eyes open anymore, so I fell asleep while reading, but I did finish it and I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I think I did the book a disservice by not reading it very fast because it took me over a month to finish it, and I think that's also the reason why I didn't feel like as engaged or connected to the story or the characters. But there were certain scenes and aspects of the book that made me feel kind of emotional, specifically with the familial aspects and then the clan family portion of it. I'm gonna settle on a 4.5 star for Jade City. I'm very excited to read the next few books. I don't know what it's going to entail, but I am intrigued. But tallying up what I read on Friday, so I almost finished Jade City and I read 120 pages of Jade City yesterday. And then I also listened to a bit of Strangers on my walk, and I ended up listening to about 6%, which is about 14 pages. So in total yesterday, I read 134 pages, which is definitely my most read of this week so far. Today, I have not read a single thing except for finishing the 20 pages I had of Jade City in the morning. So I'm at 20 pages for my total for today. It's currently 9 p.m. and I am planning on starting a new book, and I wanted to journal today and listen to more of Strangers while I was journaling, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So I might end up journaling and listening to Strangers, or I'll end up picking up a new book. It is the last day of this reading challenge, I guess. It'll be the last day that I'm tracking how many pages I read in a day. For Saturday's tally, like I mentioned yesterday, I did end up finishing Jade City yesterday because I couldn't finish it on Friday night. That was 20 pages of Jade City, and I listened to a lot of Strangers while I was doing my reading journal yesterday. So I did end up listening to 20% of Strangers, and that was 48 pages approximately. And then I did start a new book last night before bed, and that was Burning Side by Damoff. This is one of my most anticipated reads of this year because The Bright Years was my favorite book last year. I had given it 5 stars, and honestly I think about it a lot. It was a very good debut novel, and I'm very excited to read Burning Side because I've heard very good things about this book as well. And what this book is about is it's about April and Leo. They are a married couple and they have 2 young kids, and the first chapter takes you right into the plot of the story in which their house is on fire and they're kind of trying to escape from the house. And April mentions, it's in April and Leo's point of view. April mentions that Leo had given her divorce papers like an hour before. And now they're kind of escaping and they have to find a way to care for their children and still be good parents in the midst of dealing with their house burning, and then also the discussion of the divorce. If it is anything like The Bright Years, I think it's going to be very sad. I'm excited to keep reading. I only read 16 pages last night of this book, so that brings my total for Saturday to 84 pages. My hope for today is to do a little bit more journaling and listening to a little bit more of strangers, and then I also want to, of course, continue reading The Burning Side. So those are my reading plans for Sunday. It is the last day of the reading vlog, so I kind of want to end it on a bang. Yeah, we'll see how the day goes. We are back to Monday, so it is now time to do my final tally of what I read this week. As for yesterday on Sunday, I did end up finishing Strangers by Belle. I had 31% left, and I listened to the rest of the book while I was doing a couple of things around the house and then also helping my sister with some wedding DIYs. That was 31%, which was approximately 75 pages. And then I also read more of The Burning Side as my before bed book, and I ended up reading 42 pages of The Burning Side. That puts my total to, I can't do the math, so I have to use my calculator, 117 pages read on Sunday. Recap on Strangers, I don't usually rate memoirs or nonfiction, so I'm not going to give this one a rating either, but I really enjoyed it and I would recommend anyone read it. I feel like it has very strong messaging, not just for women, but also I guess for anyone who has gone through something similar or has gone through maybe being like a child of divorce. Can't even imagine being in her situation. And given that Belle is rich and she's come from a wealthy family, she talked a lot about how people kind of discredited her story because she's so wealthy. Why is she complaining? Which is crazy to me because I feel like those are two completely different things. And I feel like she can be sad about her divorce yet also be a rich heiress at the same time. I don't know, that part I found interesting, but I am kind of intrigued to read more on her. So I kind of want to do some research on Belle and her family history. It was so good, I recommend it. And then I've read a lot more of The Burning Side, not a lot more, a little bit more of The Burning Side, and also read some today as well. And it is so good. I think Sarah Damoff will be a auto-buy author for me moving forward, whatever she puts out, because I'm only like a little over 10%. I want to say 10 to 15% in with the book, and I love it. The writing is so good, and it hits just as I remember The Bright Years hitting, and I feel like the way she's setting up the story, getting like crumbs of certain aspects of each character, and I feel like those things are going to come back later in the story and really make an impact on you emotionally, or like me emotionally, the reader. And I definitely have high hopes that it'll be a 5-star, so I am very excited for that. For the final total of what I read this week, on Monday, which was the first day, I read 22 pages. Tuesday, I read 85 pages. Wednesday, I read 19 pages. Thursday, I read 70 pages. Friday, I read 134 pages. Saturday, I read 84 pages. And Sunday, I read 117 pages, putting my total to 531 pages read / listened to this week. I did end up finishing 2 books that I was in the middle of and starting another one, which is pretty good. I think I definitely will film more of these in the future because they are very fun to film. I had a very boring week kind of this week and I didn't really do much, so I think that also kind of helped to read a little bit more, but I was busy for most of the days as well. That pretty much wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm reading outside of these videos, my Goodreads and Fable are always linked down below. As always, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.